Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkars Tavern blog. By the way, I'm working with help of this community on a convention calendar, trying to get the rest of 2025 into it, and then I'll start 2026 as it starts appearing. The only way you're going to know about conventions, right? Otherwise, they're hard to follow. There's so many of them. So there's an article up on Enworld. That's from earlier this week. And all right, it's a couple of degrees of separation. Morris wrote an article on Ben Riggs' interview with Mike Mearls. Don't worry about it; it'll make sense in a second. Now, Mike was one of the lead designers of 5e 10 years ago, 11 years ago, 12 years. It published in 2014. Okay, became creative director in 2018, and then hopped over to Magic the Gathering. I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, and then left the company in 2023 and is now working for Chaosium. Okay. And he's talking about D&D 2024, which he doesn't seem to be all that psyched about. But I think there's a couple of reasons why, and I don't think he quite goes in and addresses it. He kind of skips around it. Here, we're going to his thing. My theory is that when you look back at the OGL, the real impact of it is that it made D&D uncool again. This article's about D&D being uncool. I don't believe that the OGL did that, but okay, D&D was cool, right? You had Joe Manganiello. Oh well, I guess the OGL fiasco. Joe Manganiello and people like that openly talk about playing D&D. D&D is something that was interesting, creative, fun, and different. And I think the OGL do is take that concept that Wizards had and this idea of creativity as inherent to its D&D brand because it's a role-playing game, and I think those things were sundered. I don't know if you can ever put them back together. Well, I'll tell you what was sundered, but we'll get to that. I think essentially it's like the phrase "the mandate of heaven." I think fundamentally what happened was that Wizards has lost the mandate of heaven, and I don't see them even trying to get it back. Well, see, the next part is very interesting. Charlie Hall wrote an article. Sam Charlie Hall, who was glowing review of the 5.5. All right, he's calling 5.5. What he calls it D&D 2024. The rule books, and at the same time, he's now writing. This is your chance because D&D seems to be stumbling. How do you square that? How do I go and say, here are two new Star Wars movies. They're the best, the most amazing, the greatest Star Wars movies ever made. And by the way, Star Wars has never been weaker. This is the time for other sci-fi properties. Like to me, it doesn't make any sense. To me, it's a context thing again. Now, maybe this is the best player's handbook ever written, but the rules, the audience, the people playing the game, they don't seem excited about it. And that's my observation too. With 5.0, I think maybe it's because of the beta testing. I was in the friends and family beta testing because I had a friend that got into that. And friends bring upon friends, and it built a lot of hype for it. There was a lot of excitement for it. And even if in the end I wasn't hooked by it, I could appreciate it. We're not seeing a groundswell of support and excitement. Well, how can you? It's not a new edition. I mean, you can't mix the books like you can't cross the streams in Ghostbusters. You can't mix the books. You can't use your 2024 books with your 2014 core books because bad things will happen at the table. They're not compatible with each other, but they are. But they're not because if they were, then you wouldn't need to buy the new ones. But what is the issue with the new rules? The new rules are vanilla. And what do I mean by the new rules are vanilla? The new rules are well, we can't offend anybody, all right? And now we believe, this is Watsy, that every fantasy, no longer race, heritage, has is a stand-in for a real world heritage So now we don't want to offend anybody. So if it can possibly be considered an intelligent race, it's going to be a player character race. Take it out of the monster manual. Orcs are not evil. They're just misunderstood. They are hunting parties with hawks and dress like caballeros. And dwarves, dwarves don't just, they're not just, smiths. They bake scones in sandals as cats walk around their smithakery. It's vanilla. Okay, if 2014 was rocky road and could offend, oh man, I don't like this because it's got marshmallows in it. I don't like this because it's got nuts in it. I don't like this because it's got chocolate in it. We've now taken D&D as a brand and made it unspecial, made it vanilla, made it bland. And when you make your brand bland, it lacks excitement. Now, maybe Watsy's way around this, like, oh, we'll put the excitement into the accessories. We will make the books, the splat books, the adventure books, the setting books. We'll make them exciting. No, you won't, because you've already proven to us, the gamer, that you're so afraid of offending one person, you'd rather please nobody. The companies that are going to make a splash, the companies that are going to gain market share, the companies that are going to gain customers, players, are those that are willing to strike out and do something a little risky. I mean, DCC really isn't even, it's got those crazy tables, but you could offend somebody because every class, every race has different abilities. How dare you differentiate? How dare you not just say, well, dwarves are just little people, but not as little as halflings. And a halfling can be as strong as a dwarf or a human. And elves are no smarter than anybody. And orcs are just as smart as humans. It's all even playing field. It's all just trappings. It's vanilla ice cream with sprinkles, and the sprinkles don't even have any flavor. And that's what the issue is. That's why nobody's excited. And it isn't even the excitement of, holy shit, we got a new edition to play. You don't have a new edition to play. You got shit to play. You've got the same edition with anything that made it exciting removed from it. Think about that. Think about that. And you think Watch is going to improve upon the pace that they've given us? Again, I was not a huge fan of 5e, not because I didn't think it was a well written system. I thought it was. It was too much, too complicated for me. And my play taste, my comfort zone. But I could appreciate a good game when I saw it. I have no desire to rush out and get D&D 2024. Why? I got my books from 2014. You're telling me it's the same game. You're telling me the rules haven't changed. Except for everything that you've changed that I wouldn't want changed in my game. So why would I go out and buy it? And I think therein lies the issue. That is what it is. It could be the best written presentation of D&D in 2024. It could be technically the cleanest, best laid out, art subjective, but whatever. Maybe it hits all those points and still lacks a soul. What do you do? Why do you spend money on it? Especially in an economy where everybody's talking about how they got less money to spend. So watch, you can brag about numbers that aren't a brag when you have characters created for 1 out of 5 of your D&D Beyond accounts. And that's assuming each account that created a character only created one. You've got nothing to brag about. Okay? You're not whipping out any numbers that are going, hey, look how great we did. You're not doing that. Folks, tell me, and if you're a 20, 24 player GM, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. But what do you find better about the new version of the D&D 5e rules over the old version? And more importantly, are they actually as compatible as WotC claims they are? All your old stuff still works, but you wouldn't want to play characters from the different rule sets together. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you think. Folks, again, tenkars-tavern.games/conventions. After I get off this video, I'll be working on that to update it further. There's a lot of work that still has to go into that, but we're trying to get all the conventions. You can leave comments on that video that is linked. Actually, I'll teach right to the calendar. There's a video from earlier this week, or you can just email me at tenkars.tavern@gmail.com and say, hey, I got some conventions I'd like you to add to the calendar. Happy to do so. All right, folks. On that note, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll this ice, roll them well. Live stream on this channel tonight at 8 p.m. Hope to see you all there. Catch you then.